Okay, moving on to the kettlebell swing. This can be a super challenging movement for people to get the hang of. I know that it was super hard for me when I first started to kind of grasp the concept. So, the kettlebell swing is all about using the hip hinge. So, that's the same movement that I went over in the deadlift. So, it's not a squat, and you can practice with that kettlebell behind your back again if you need a bit more focus on that hip hinge movement. So you're going to want to stand tall. You want to keep your arms long and loose while squeezing those shoulder blades together and engaging your core. Our shoulders want to be back, and we want to soften those knees as we shift our body weight into our heels. So those heels, once again, never want to come off the ground. So we drive through those heels, we explode through the hips, and we send our weight forwards through our quads. We want to aim for that kettlebell to be about chest height, and we're going to snap our hips through, contracting our core and then squeezing those glutes at the top. So as the kettlebell begins to descend, so come back down, you want to let the weight do the work as you let your body kind of prepare or get ready for that next rep. So you're going to shift that weight back into your heels. Heels never want to come off the ground, while hinging those hips and loading both the hamstrings and the glutes. You want to let the kettlebell come between your legs as it makes the transition from backward to forward, and drive through those heels once again and hips. Some mistakes that people commonly make, I know this was a big one for me when I first started doing kettlebell swings, is that I was bending my knees too much. So it's called a kettlebell swing, not a kettlebell squat, and I was doing kettlebell squats. So I was bending my knees way too much. Instead, you want to drive and explode from the legs and the hips. So dropping it to a squat actually turns it into kind of like an up-down movement rather than an explosive like thrust, which is what you want. Another thing that people do, myself included for a while until I kind of corrected it, was that I was using my back and not engaging my core enough. So if your back hurts, there's something wrong. Chances are you're not bracing your core as you do that swing. So you want to start and finish by loading and hinging at the hips, keeping that core engaged, like I mentioned the other day, pretending like somebody punched you in the side of your stomach and you contract inward, and you want to keep it nice and tight so you don't strain that lower back. Another common mistake that I see is people swinging too low. So you're not trying to scrape the bell or the whatever, if you're using a dumbbell, across the floor. The kettlebell should actually tap your butt if you're using the correct form and doing it properly. I'm going to be posting a video on core engagement during the kettlebell swing that you should all watch because it's so important to engage that core. But for now, just watch this video. I do a demo of what you should do versus what you shouldn't do. But once again, shoulders back, core is engaged, no low back should be used. It should be used, but not incorrectly. These can also be done with a dumbbell. I'm going to link how to do those as well. If you're doing this at home, practice the movement, get comfortable doing it with that dumbbell. If you don't have a kettlebell available, and just really practice that hinge hip movement until you have it down pat. Once again, don't want any low back issues to arise. So if anything is hurting in your low back, there's something that you're doing wrong, and I don't mind taking a look at whatever it is. If you want to record yourself and send it to me, I'd be more than happy to take a peek.